How much money does the average Adobe Stock contributor earn? Today, I'm going to give you guys the most legitimate stats that you probably find on the internet. And I'm using this as kind of like a summation, an estimate based on my personal earnings. Not only am I going to give you the stats of how much you would earn per X amount of downloads on average, but we're going to extrapolate that out. And I'm going to really show this to encourage how much money can actually be made. Guys, you guys have seen in the paid lessons and in the free videos that there's no shortage of success out there. In fact, I'm actually on my YouTube channel. By the time you're watching this video, there's going to be more videos. But I'm starting to build like this little podcast thing. You guys can click on the podcast section, and I'm going to create or I've already been creating a podcast. I think I'm going to call it the Financial Freedom Podcast, because really the whole purpose of this YouTube channel is to teach you guys some different ways to make passive income, to make income in general, not even just passive income, to bring in income, increase your income, create your wealth, and more importantly, create financial freedom. I've said this before so many times. The only reason I'm interested in making more money is to increase my freedom. You know, I really don't care about the actual money aspect. I care about the freedom aspect. Now, at my point in time, I've pretty much maxed out the freedom aspect of life, at least for the most part. And I want to help you guys do that, and that's why I make these videos, and purely it's for entertainment. You know, I'm not going to just sit down and play video games all day. I can make videos that help other people out. And Adobe Stock is one of those ways where it's not that hard to be successful. Like literally, you're only creating images. It's not rocket science. It's not mathematics. It's really not that hard. There are tools that exist that can help you through the process. There's a lot of things you could do to be successful. And once again, we have those videos out there. Speaking of the videos, if you want, join our free members area, where not only do I send out emails, I send out posts like some of the ones that you're seeing here. I have also lessons on there that are both free and paid. If you click on this little product section, you scroll here, we have some free lessons and we have some paid lessons. Any kind of lesson that you see here has either a free or a paid cost to it. So for example, these lessons here are free, right? We have some paid ones here, like this paid, etc. And speaking of Adobe Stock and AI image generation, if there's any time where you need some more paid content, go check out our Adobe Stock videos. So we have an AI stock photography image creation guide where it shows you how to create over 1,000 images per month. Here we have a keyword optimization guide. We have a stock photo uploading guide where you could see me live doing the uploading. So the content's out there. With that being said, guys, let's go ahead and focus on today's topic, today's video. And that's how much money can you actually make on Adobe Stock. Once again, I've showed different accounts out there that have had over 1 million downloads, 10,000 downloads, 100,000 downloads, millions of downloads. But let's kind of give a number to these things, a concrete number. I did a kind of like a mathematical arrangement, whatever you want to call it. Analysis is the better word. Analysis of all the different, accounts that I have on Adobe Stock, and I have a few, but different tests. And I came out with this little equation here. 41 downloads roughly equates to $25.07. Now, of course, is it going to vary from person to person? Of course it will. But I'm giving you an estimate across the board. I have a few people that I've concurred with and I've kind of talked with, and I did the numbers on their accounts. I did the numbers on my accounts. This is kind of what I'm seeing. About 41 downloads equates to $25.07. I wanted to see what is the closest number or metric that I can get that's close to $25 in earnings. And I got 41 downloads. And the number comes out to $25.07. So that was the closest I got. And I have under this orange block here some metrics as to what that actually looks like from a larger scale perspective. So let's kind of look at that, right? If an account, for example, has generated 400 downloads, that's approximately $244 in earnings and 59 cents. So let me ask you this question. Because we're a passive income YouTube channel, and because my focus, or I don't want to say passive income YouTube channel, we focus on making wealth, making money, generating income. What would $244 a month extra do for you? What would it do? For some people, it would pay their phone bills, and that would be it, which is not ideal, but for some people, it would pay groceries for a week. For some people, it would pay some gas money. For some people, it would help them start another side hustle. Everybody's different, but $244 is very, very useful for third world and even second world countries a month. Very useful. I mean, some people can live on that, actually, believe it or not. If you live in India, you can live on maybe $300, $320 a month. But I'm sure people listening who listen from India, from Pakistan, is a significant amount of income. So maybe if that's your goal, maybe you should set that out, right? Let's see what another metric is. 50,000 downloads a month. That equates to $30,573, roughly, and 17 cents. Now, once again, this is 50,000 downloads. Now, I don't really know that there's plenty of accounts making 50,000 downloads a month, but they're out there. They do exist. To say that they don't exist would be a lie. They exist. Speaking of accounts, it doesn't even have to be on a monthly basis. Think about on a yearly basis. If you've generated 50,000 downloads and you've made $30,000 doing it, $30,573. What can that do for your life? Maybe with that money, you'd buy a car. Maybe, you could technically buy a new car every year. Maybe, you could buy a property overseas with that money. And actually, not maybe, you could, depending on, once again, the country, etc. You could do a lot of things with this kind of money. I mean, you guys can think about it. I don't have to list off certain things, but you get it. If there's a funeral that needs to be paid for, that's 10, 15 grand that you could pay for, You have leftover money. If you need a new computer, hey, that's an extra $500, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, whatever if you're a gamer, you want something a little bit more powerful, you might have to spend $3,500 on a gaming computer. You could buy almost 10 of them, for that price. There's money to be made. This is my whole point, is there are accounts out there, and you've seen them, and I've shown them, too. I've shown them. It's not like I'm making this up. That have over 50,000 downloads, that have over 100,000 downloads. Let's kind of look at the next one metric here. 10,000 downloads, which is a little more conservative. $6,114.63. For some people, that might be their rent payment. If you're living in Bulgaria or Romania, first of all, $500 is like pretty average for rent in Bulgaria. A lot of European countries, this is good money for rent. Cover all of the rent pretty much. $6,000 in America, pay maybe your rent for, I don't know, a few months, 2 months, 3 months. I don't know. It just depends on the house, obviously. 3 months maybe. You guys kind of get my point here, is that there's real money to be made, and anybody can go out there and achieve it. It's just a matter of doing the work. I created a poll, which I haven't, fully got to yet, but I created a poll on YouTube. I was kind of asking, are people interested in doing Adobe Stock? If you knew that you could easily do it, would you do it? And most people would say yes, of course, because it's something that they think is easy. And it is easy. If I compared, guys, Adobe Stock to starting a clothing brand online, like a website. Starting a clothing brand is harder. If I compare it to a construction business, that's a million times harder. If I compare it to a YouTube channel, that's harder. If I compare it to, anything out there, really, Adobe Stock is one of the easiest businesses to get into. Last year and the year before, and even the year before that, I used to say there's no business easier than print on demand. For the most part, I'm pretty much wrong, because Adobe Stock is easier than print on demand. Adobe Stock is easier than print on demand because at this point into the game, before I didn't say that, like I said, because the tools that we have didn't exist. And, is sometimes hit or miss if you add the right keywords. And you're doing it manually. You're doing it with your own mind. But now at this point into the game, and I've shown the tools, like I said, I've shown them, literally shown them on this YouTube channel. Basically, everything is hand-fed to you. And I've shown them, it's now become even easier. Because, the images are created for you. The keywords are created for you. It's just a matter of sitting there and doing the job. It's just that simple. It does not get easier. Let's go ahead and extrapolate one more number here, which is 5,000 downloads, which is even more conservative. That's 3,557 downloads. $3,057. That's a decent amount of money as well. And that's only 5,000 downloads. Some people say only 5,000 downloads. Let me break this down for you, all right? When you start an Adobe Stock account and you're constantly uploading, how it works is over time, you'll get that very first download and it will show up on your chart, right? Then over time, right, let's just say it took you 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get that first download. That next download should take a little bit less. It might not take 3 weeks. It might take 2 weeks. It may take 2 weeks and a half, whatever. The next download after that should take a little bit less. Next download after that, maybe the next time you'll get 2 downloads in a day. Who knows? But basically, between each download, there should be, and you should have this goal mentally, is that there should be less time in between each download to the point where you're making downloads every single day. That's what should happen. Think of it this way. If you're getting, let's do a calculator here. Let's whip out the calculator. If you're getting 3 downloads a day, right? You take that 3, you multiply that by 30. That's 90 downloads a month on average, right? Because 30 days in a month, some days, like, for example, February, 28 days, leap year, some 31 days, etc. But you get the point. Let's say 90 downloads a month. 3 downloads a day, 90 downloads a month, right? You multiply that by 12. Hold on. Yes, that's, never mind. That's 1,080 downloads a year, all right? What would that equate to from a standpoint? Well, 1,080 divided by the 41 is equal to 26. We take the 26 and we multiply that by the 25, and that equals $658. You see what I'm saying with this? So even $658 is not bad for somebody who's only got 1,000 downloads, and you can achieve 1,000 downloads relatively quickly, Now, some people will sit here and say, well, how long will it take me to get to 1,000 downloads? How long will it take me to get to 10,000 or 5,000? It all depends on your output and your speed of success. Look at your account. If you have 6 uploads, you can kiss your dreams goodbye. You're never going to achieve anything because you haven't done any work. I'll give you an example. There's some guy in the comments the other day. You could actually probably go look at his comment. I forget what video it was, but it was one of the more recent ones where they were saying, oh, you're making Adobe Stock harder than it is. I've uploaded 20 images and I've been waiting to make any money on them. What is 20 images? 20 images could be created in a minute. What is 20 images, really? That's nothing. Does it take a genius to figure that out? No, it doesn't. 20 images is absolutely nothing. For the people with that kind of mindset, I can't really help them. There's nothing I could say. I can't, because if I say something and I motivate them, what are they going to go up to? 25? 30? What can I really say to get them to move the needle? Nothing. But if somebody's coming into the game and they're saying, I want to take this seriously, I want to be able to work on this for 2 or 3 years and then step away from it permanently and yet still make very good money, I could work with somebody like that because mentally that person's in the game. They're willing to do whatever it takes to achieve a significant amount of income and then walk away from it fully and then keep letting it yield more income for them. Because that's the beautiful thing, right? I compare Adobe Stock very similar to my old KDP business. For people who don't know, what KDP stands for is Kindle Direct Publishing. Basically, you can upload ebooks to Amazon. Basically, obviously it's not just you can turn them into paperback books, etc. I haven't logged into my KDP account in about 2 years and a half. I get checks literally every single month, and it's been about 7 years since I hopped on, creating any kind of books for KDP. I've been generating pretty much the same amount of income since 7 years ago. Let's say 6 years ago. Pretty much the same income, I'm close to generating anywhere from $2,400 to $3,000 a month on KDP. I don't touch KDP. I don't work on it. I haven't worked on it since. Like I said, I haven't logged into my account in the past 2+ years. But it keeps generating me income because I did the work in the beginning and I walked away. Now, the KDP landscape has changed. Technologies have changed. But the review system still works. The algorithm still works. And I have reviews on my books. I have sales on my books that, help it rank and things like that. And they only keep growing. So, until there's competitors that kind of overlap some of my books, which will happen eventually, and it is probably happening faster than, than I would, think about. But it's going to happen. It's not going to be like this forever. I would have to work on it to get it back up. But I could always go back to it, but the point is that I've been away from that business for years, and it's been generating me passive income. It's only passive when you walk away from it. Like, you could make $5 passive, or you can make $50,000 passive. It just depends on how hard you're willing to push. So I'm not saying that you should make $50,000. I'm not even saying that should be your goal. Literally everyone is different. And it's sad that I even have to say these kind of things because we live in a society now where everything is taken so literal. But anyways, whatever your goal is, right? Look at your current performance. Look at the amount you're outputting. Look at the amount people are downloading, and then do the math. If you have 100 uploads and you've made $20, right, in a period of 3 months, then if you want to make $60, you know exactly what to do. You just multiply, right? It's just doing the math behind it. That's all it is, and a matter of sticking by it. So hopefully this video helped. But this is the number that I've kind of seen throughout my accounts. Now, this number could differ from person to person, but it took me, based on all the math that I've done from multiple accounts and some of my people that I personally know's accounts, I come to the consensus about 41 downloads equates to roughly $25. The exact number is $25.07. So there you go. All right. Hopefully this video helps out. Hopefully people go out there and create amazing businesses with Adobe Stock. I'll tell you this, there are people already doing it and they're making a ton of money. A ton of money. Of course, some of them might have early mover advantage, but you got to realize the people who have the early mover advantage, right, that did a lot in the beginning, that are making a lot of money now, eventually they're going to be conquered by people like me who are doing, a lot of work with AI. You could send a photographer out there who's doing, 100 shots an hour, I can create 100 shots, images in 5 minutes. I could do that, if I really put my mind to it. But let's just say even a half hour, so 20 minutes. So, I have AI. I have the ability to do much more. So, and so do you guys. It's not like it's just me. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out. Bye.